Are you a first-timer looking for the best things to do in Paris? The French capital, without a doubt, is famous for its Eiffel Tower, beautiful cafes, and high-end fashion brands. But there are actually a lot more sights and attractions offered by this city. Today, we'll talk about the top 10 activities to keep you entertained during your stay. Number 10, La Nuit Blanche. In Paris, the first Saturday night in October is a very special night. Artists, performers, and musicians invade the main thoroughfares, and so many art exhibits and parties happen throughout the city. There are just a lot of things to keep Parisians and tourists busy during La Nuit Blanche, which is held annually by the city. Get the mobile application and follow @Nuit Blanche on social media to find out more information about the event. This will help you navigate the confusing maze of art installations and prevent you from getting lost. Additionally, be aware that there will be a lot of traffic and closures on some roads, so you should avoid driving and instead choose to walk. Number 9, Parc des Vieilles. Parc de la Vieille is one of the best places to experience Paris like a true local. This is the place where you can not only enjoy one of the biggest and most lustful green spaces in the city, but also catch up with a lot of interesting seasonal events, as it houses the iconic concert hall, Philharmonie de Paris, and Grande Halle des Villettes exhibition space. The opulent Philharmonie de Paris, created by Pritzker Prize award-winning architect Jean Nouvel, is made of aluminum and houses 6 rehearsal rooms, 10 recording studios, VIP areas, and exhibition spaces. Meanwhile, Grande Halle de la Villette is where you'll find a wide variety of shows and conferences, including everything from historical displays and tattoo expos. Number 8, La Musée de la Via Romantique. One of Paris's most charming museums, this one is tucked away at the very end of a leafy rue and concealed behind a wrought iron gate. It's definitely worth spending a few hours checking out this place if you're ever in the Montmartre neighborhood, which is quite eccentric on its own with its cobblestone alleys and differing architecture. This mansion at the foot of Montmartre Hill was formerly the residence of Dutch painter Arie Scheffer and has been a museum since 1982. A selection of his paintings and some personal items belonging to his friend George Sand are on display here. Because of the museum's exceptional preservation, you can truly see what homes were like in 19th century France. Number 7, Marché des Allegres. Paris boasts dozens of markets, but Marché des Allegres is undoubtedly one of the most well-liked, situated on an avenue that's less than a quarter-mile long. This market's been in operation since the late 18th century. As you walk down the sidewalk, lively vendors yell in amiable tones for you to purchase their fruits, vegetables, meats, and other goods. To get the most value for your money, buy seasonal produce, just like you would in any city. While it's reasonable to say that one vendor is superior to others, don't be afraid to try a variety of options before choosing your own favorites. In addition, there's an antique market at the back of the square where you can browse through various vintage items. Number 6, Belleville Neighborhood. Thanks to the fact that it's still comparatively unknown to most tourists, Belleville is one of the most treasured hidden gems of Paris. It offers a tranquil respite from the usual bustle of Paris and is akin to a tiny town within the city where immigrants from all over the world and artists of many disciplines come together with a tangible revolutionary spirit. As soon as you step out of the metro system in Belleville, you'll be immediately wrapped in the vibrant spirit of the surrounding area. The streets are lined with charming cafes and restaurants, and the walls are covered in vibrant street art. Additionally, everything is available, including second-hand records, unique spices, and handcrafted goods. Belleville bears a striking resemblance to Montmartre, as both are perched on the highest hills in the town and have a strong working-class base mixed with a decorative flair. However, Belleville today is more influenced by popular culture, whereas Montmartre was shaped by classical culture at the end of the 19th century. Number 5, Rue Mouffetard. Rue Mouffetard is among the most well-known shopping avenues in the French capital, along with Marché des Allegres. The French word moufette means skunk and is most likely the source of the name Mouffetard. The reason for this is thought to be the foul odor emanating from the road, which was home to numerous animal skinners in the Middle Ages. Because of the numerous shops that spill out onto the sidewalk and the cobblestone surroundings, you can still feel the vibe of medieval Paris when you stroll along Mouffetard today. Additionally, on specific days of the week, vendors from other parts of the city come to the street early in the morning to sell freshly grown seasonal goods like fruits and vegetables. A walk along Rue Mard is especially pleasant because of a number of noteworthy buildings. One example of this is the red-colored butcher shop, which has 2 reliefs of oxen on top. Additionally, the Church of St Médard, a modest 15th century ecclesiastical structure decorated in Gothic flamboyant style, can be found at the end of the street. Number 4. Canal St Martin. In Canal St Martin, you can see people strolling hand in hand along the riverbanks and locals engaging in boules on one of the many sandbanks alongside the stretch of water. The neighborhood is situated on the Rive Droite, a long way from the Louvre's crowds and the city's most famous attractions. Compared to many other Parisian neighborhoods, this one is much more local. By exploring the area, you can see a side of Paris that you might not have otherwise seen and add even more authenticity to your time there. This area is also home to many fantastic restaurants and bars that are not packed with tourists. Number 3. Cere De Montparnasse. Have you ever gone to a graveyard before? If not, now's the perfect opportunity to give it a try for the first time. Take Metro Line 6 to Raspail Stop and walk to Cere De Montparnasse in Paris. This is the place where plenty of French and foreign authors and creators are buried, such as Charles Baudelaire, Serge Gainsbourg, and Jean-Paul Sartre. The cemetery, which is covered in trees, was formerly home to 3 farms. Among some of the most notable pieces of art in the burial site is The Kiss by the artist Constantine Brancusi. Also look for the large sculpture of a fish that's perched atop an unmarked grave. Alternatively, you might simply take in the Montparnasse Tower and its picturesque surroundings. Number 2. Cathedral Notre Dame. The world looked on in horror and grief as the roof collapsed and the spire was consumed by flames. But right now, restoration work is being done on the cathedral, and it won't be long before you can admire its beauty again. Although the fire caused extensive damage, restoration work by committed craftsmen gradually brought the location back to its former splendor. Using age-old methods and supplies, the wooden roof structure is being replaced. Lead sheets are being used for the outer shell of the new spire, which is being constructed to mimic the original, using historical records as a guide. This careful attention to detail ensures that the dome will closely match the beloved form that stood for ages. Number 1. Musee du Louvre. The Louvre was a fortification built in the 12th century, long before it was converted into an art museum. You can see the ruins of these fortifications in the medieval Louvre. Then, since the 18th century, the property has seen numerous renovations during which thousands of pieces of art have been added to its collection. Buy your skip-the-line ticket in advance to avoid the lengthy lineup. However, you'll still need to wait in a security line for access to the property, which may take anywhere from a few minutes to half an hour. If you plan to visit during the busiest time of the year, purchase your tickets well in advance, as they tend to sell out fast. The takeaway. For fans of all things romantic and beautiful, Paris will always be their favorite city. While it isn't exactly the most affordable destination, however, if you know how to spend your time here, it can still be a budget-friendly place. As you can see from the list, there's a wide range of reasonably priced or even free attractions throughout the city. On average, a traveler will spend around 80 euros per day exploring Paris. Even so, you can easily spend much less, or much more, depending on your personal lifestyle and preferences. To cut your budget, you can, for example, take the Metro, which is quite reliable and economical. As long as you're in the city, you'll never be too far from one of the stations. All in all, the things and activities shown to you earlier are some of the most important things to know about visiting Paris. And as you might have known already, it's one of the most visited cities in the world. So, to avoid the tourist traps, blend into the local culture and check out less visited locations. On top of that, dress up like a true Parisian and pick up some French words on your way. Guys, if you're curious about the best restaurants in Paris, simply click on the video in the top right corner. See you in the next video.